So I used to teach this class called Optimizing Your Life, and one of the things that was asked about a lot is study tools. So I'm going to give you just a few really simple study tools. I'm going to talk about this as if you're a student in class, but you can use the same study skills, the study tools for anything. Most of this is going to come into the idea of being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Part number one, wherever you want to sit in class, sit in the opposite place. So for example, if you want to sit in the very back of class, sit in the very front of class. What that's going to do is it's going to raise your arousal state and make you uncomfortable. That is going to do two things. One is going to make you pay more attention because you're up front. Two, the raising the arousal state will tell your brain that, this must be important, so let me pay attention to it. Because the opposite happens as well. If you're too comfortable in class, your brain basically says, I'm super comfortable, this may not be important, so let me just dump the information. Number two is be engaged in what's being said in class. Let me give you one example of this. You can ask a question or answer a question somewhere in class. Now, a lot of teachers don't necessarily give you an opportunity to do that out loud. You can do it in your own head. Like, as the teacher is talking, you can say, okay, during this class, I'm going to ask a question, even if it's in my own head, or I'm going to answer a question, even if it's in my own head, sometime during the class. Like, that's your goal. So you'll start listening differently than if you're just in class passively listening to what's happening. And that information automatically encodes the information differently than if you're just, again, passively listening to it. Then if you get to a point where you feel comfortable raising your hand, even if you're not called on, again, this raises your arousal state and makes you uncomfortable. And that discomfort, as long as it's within an appropriate limit, and we talk about this with challenge point that you could see on another video that we do, as long as it's within an appropriate limit, that discomfort is exactly what's going to drive you to optimize your learning. So these are really simple things when you think about it. I'm going to add one more thing to this, and you do this before you ever actually get to class, and that is you read your notes ahead of time. And what this does is it's called a priming activity. It primes your brain to start thinking about certain things. So I'm going to give you a specific study that looked at this. It had people read a paragraph, and then they were tested on that paragraph. There were two groups. One group read the paragraph and then was tested. The other group read a title to the paragraph, then was tested. And that group that read the title first, which primed them to start thinking about the information in a certain way, they did far better on the test than that group that didn't have the priming. Let me recap these things real quick. Before you ever get into class, read your notes or your book, whatever it happens to be, to prime you to start thinking about things. When you walk into class, you sit in a place that's uncomfortable, appropriately uncomfortable, so that your arousal state is high enough and so that you really pay attention. And then to put the icing on the cake, you ask or answer a question, even in your own mind, sometime during the class. And those things take no more time, but they optimize your learning. I hope that this was helpful to you. And as always, I want to tell you thank you for your time. And please share this with people that you care about. If you've got questions or comments, please send them to us. We're happy to answer those, and they may help inform future episodes that we do as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you.